for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace and former Ottawa Senators Bobby Ryan and Jason York.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Brent Wallace alongside Jason York and Bobby Ryan. And maybe we should just start with a moment of silence for Rourke Chartier and for Jason York. Are you okay, Yorkie?
Flags are at half mast. Sad day here. All I can say is, Rourke Chartier, we salute you.
Hey, but that it is just waivers. There is a chance.
I know. Listen, no one's picking them up. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't think he's. No, I agree with you.
I hope not, because if we do, we have to change the entire show about a new team. just for Yorkie.
Like, what more do you want? 83% on draws last night. The guy, he is what he is. The sad part is, if talented guys just figured out, if they worked that hard, and Bob, you know this, because unfortunately it doesn't really happen until the playoffs, when really talented guys decide to play that style.
Yeah,
it's just, that's how you win.
Yeah,
that's how you win. And Rourke's just getting by. Like, listen, he's not a super talented guy, but he's figured out if he wants to make a living at this game, that's how he has to play each and every shift. Like, his life depends on it. I just get frustrated when talented guys don't play that way, because when they decide to do it, that's when your team just becomes a force. So I agree, Wally. I don't think we've seen the last of Rourke Chartier. I even know how to say his name now.
Yeah, it took all that time and he's gone. Poor guy.
If people are wondering why, they're at the maximum 23 roster spots. So that's one. If they want to make a move and perhaps acquire somebody, they're going to have a roster spot. Two, they have $12,000, I think, in cap space, according to Cap Friendly. So they got to have, they don't have any room to do anything. They have to make a move. And so
it's a calculated risk too, because if you decide, okay, we're going to put Kastelik on waivers. Well, he's 6'4", he's younger. Somebody might claim him. You're not putting Parker Kelly on waivers. He'll get claimed in a hurry. So then you get down to, well, who's it going to be, right? But it's a number. And I'm sure they're having that conversation. Listen, we're happy with you. Hopefully you don't get claimed, because we really like everything you're doing, and we can't ask any more of you. You've given us everything you got, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
no, I agree.
He's played well. He is he's a perfect Jacques guy. Although I will say last night they didn't use him a lot. However, they used him a little less than Dominik Kubalik, though.
Jeez,
that guy didn't play at all in the third period.
I was gonna throw a video up, but I couldn't do it. The Sens won. Like, he went out to the point and he made himself look so tiny. It's almost like you don't want to block the shot. And then you guys both saw the game, the goal that Matthew Joseph, the guy sticks his leg out. That's the shit I'm talking about that the Senators need. That was a huge play of the game too. But anyhow, Kubalik he's not endearing himself to the coaching staff. I'll tell you that much.
No, and he's not endearing himself to anybody else. And now he's finding himself as the odd man out. So it's good. I mean, this could very well be a long finish to his season. If things continue that way, and in a perfect world, you get something for him, but you're gonna get a late round pick at this point just to move a guy to get him off your cap space, right? In case any other moves need to be made. So the showcase might not be the showcase we thought it was going to be, because it's a tough third period to draw from if you're a scout.
Well, and it's funny because we all said how Ridley Greig was a better option at third line winger than Dominik Kubalik, but that Kubalik was not a fourth line player. So that's why they moved him down. But it took Jacques exactly one period to make that switch and put Ridley Greig in that third line spot.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would take long. Greig, just say what you want. If I regressed a little bit or just hit that freshman year slump, that kind of gets everybody at this time of year. But the way he plays makes him a very, very good, important piece to move up the lineup. And he doesn't belong in that fourth line slot, because it's do you send him down at that point? He's played himself into the role as an NHL forward, so you can't. Yep. So it just, I mean, Kubalik's going to be the odd man out. and he might just finish his year here and move on.
Yeah, he's headed for the Swiss League. That's where he's going. No, like he's a top 6. Like he's not going to be useful on your bottom line because he doesn't know how to play that role. He's a scorer. The guy's got a great shot. The minute they brought in Tarasenko, Kubalik's like, I don't know if this is a fit for me anymore here because he's got to be on a power play because that's how you score. You got to be on the power play. He's not on the power play anymore. So anyhow, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, a minus, what is he? Minus 19 now.
Yeah.
Honestly, a big part of him is like, he's not the leader in the clubhouse, is he?
Yeah. Should be. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a big part of him is like, guess what? I won't be in a week because I'm not going to play and do any more damage to it. So
Jacques going to lose his mind with him.
If he plays even par the rest of the way, he's got a chance to get out of that and play himself in the 3rd or 4th place.
Yeah. Okay. Bobby, did you play with Artyom Anisimov?
I did. Yeah.
I did. I feel like he's that type of player where he's in a role in Ottawa that doesn't suit him. Yeah. You can see him struggling, but the Artie party, yeah, like people, teammates apparently loved him, and
I loved him.
He had a great career outside of playing in Ottawa, I will say, or at least before he got to Ottawa.
He was very, very undervalued here. A few times I came in and I was on his line, and I was like, yes, thank you. He was slow, like, and they didn't want to put him and I together because we weren't going to be a fast line. But I was like, I was like, if you give us somebody fast, it's a it's a non-issue because of the way that he controlled the puck. Like, he was very, very poised with the puck. And I obviously arguably was as well, but I played a little more dump and chase than he did at times. But I loved playing with him because you knew that he had the patience to make plays to get the pill. Like, I loved it. And he was a beautiful guy in the room, man.
Was he good?
Hated practice. Come in. He'd be like, and like a lot of times they would post the order on the board, and like he wasn't like your typical Russian. I'd be like, he would be like, maybe we just do those 2, and they were like, no, that's the order of the first 5. and Artie's like, okay, well, you can go slow here.
Yeah,
so good.
I heard he was well liked. Before we move into last night's comeback win, which Bobby picked the wrong team, I guess the people in the chat are talking about why not Zach McEwen being placed on waivers to send him down instead of Rourke Chartier. And I'm wondering, one, does Ridley Greig move into that 4th line center spot, or I guess Mark Kastelik does, or does Mark go to the wing? Like,
yeah, Kastelik will play that spot.
So why not then, if McEwen is going to be a healthy scratch, send him down or put him on waivers, which is what he would need, as opposed to Chartier. And I just think because Zach McEwen figures more into their future than Rourke Chartier.
Yeah, and McEwen's done some nice things the last little while when he was playing.
Yes.
I know he's been the health bomb a couple games, but I've liked how he's played. He's also a guy, maybe somebody picks him up for some toughness. It's a contract where he's not making, I know he's got 2 more years, but it's a very low. I just think it's the management team just saying, who's not going to get picked up? Chartier is an older guy. Was he 27? Like he is not getting picked up. I will be shocked. And I like how he plays. So it's, to me, it's a calculated move, and it's the one I would do.
And he's always been the insurance guy in the minors for them anyway. Like,
that's what he is.
We tend to overvalue players a lot on our own teams. I don't foresee there being an issue about him getting sent down and then being available if there's an injury. This guy.
Thank you. May I have another? This guy just appreciates being a pro hockey player. Like, and that's the thing. Like,
you know him that well, eh?
no maintenance guy. Come on, Sharks.
Yeah. He honestly, he probably signed here with the hopes to get 10 to 12 games, and I don't know what he got, but it was a pretty good run, right? And he was he on a 2-way? Obviously.
Yes.
So
he's on a 2-way,
yeah. So he gets a minor league guarantee, right? I don't know what that factors into be, but he probably chipped away at that and then some. So you hate to think that way, but guys in that position at 27 years old absolutely do. That's why you see career minor leaguers sign with teams that aren't great, the level above, because they're going to get to their guarantee by games played when some injuries occur. So credit to him because he came in and did a great job.
But Chartier should point out, like, he missed, was it 2 years? I think
2 years of hockey. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So due to injury, so good for him just to get back, right, and get in the lineup. He's played 40 games since coming back, which looked like he may not play again. But we forget, like, he was on a World Junior team for Team Canada.
Look at his stats when he's younger. Like when he first came up into the minors, when he first started his pro career, he put up some numbers. Like, this guy's got 2 years away from the game. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
So
it's unheard of when you're a fringe type player.
Yeah. But then again, you throw him out in a beer league, and people are like, "Holy shit, is this guy good?"
What was the saying that somebody that was terrible in the NBA said it a while ago? He said, "I'm a lot closer to LeBron than you are to me." I was like, "What a great quote! What a great quote!"
Oh God, you put the Rourke dog in my Tuesday afternoon hockey league. He's going to score 100 goals.
Yeah.
In which I think is his draft year, 2014-15, 58 games in the dub for Kelowna, 48 goals, 82 points.
Wow.
He did all right. Anyway, hope to see him again for Yorkie's sake.
Good.
Before we get to last night's game, some business to take care of. As always, this show brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian owned and operated since 1972 with more than 85 locations across the country through their Charm and sister brand. Super knowledgeable, not sure what to get. Really, just go see the staff. Tell them what you're looking for. They will help you out. Get custom ring building delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program and an unbeatable pricing policy. Valentine's Day quickly approaching. Any special occasion for that matter. Charm Diamond Centers is the crown jewel of beautiful pieces of jewelry, including a large selection of Canadian lab-grown diamonds, mined diamonds, and don't pay until 2025 with their instant in-store financing. For more information, go to charmdiamondcenters.com.
This show brought to you by our friends, as always, at BEI, Bonisher Excavating Incorporated, heavy civil general contractor in both the public and the private sectors. When planning your next project, consider them for your aggregate supply needs, including haulage and floating, custom crushing and screening. They move stuff. Hopefully they can move me out of the middle seat I got for flight tomorrow. So I just looked down and took that one right in the teeth. But you can find them at bonisherexcavating.com or at 613-432-1120. BEI, helping to shape Ottawa Valley. Slow down in construction zones.
No PJ, Bob? What's up? What's up with the PJ?
We're making a last-minute call here. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Looking for a fun night out? You got to check out Battlegrounds Axe Throwing. It's great for family, couples, and corporate groups. Kids 12 and up can throw accompanied by a guardian. Looking for the ultimate birthday party, team building event, or just having a fantastic date night with your significant other, then it's time to visit Battle Axe Throwing. It's located at 2615 Lancaster Road. It's safe. It's fun. It requires absolutely no practice. Just come to a Battlegrounds Axe Throwing facility, and the coaches will show you the ropes and show you how to hit those targets safely. You can book at battlegrounds.com.
My family's very own whiskey, barrel-aged and set apart, marked with VO, artfully blended, impeccably crafted, as a wedding gift to my son, for the bride and groom. And now, over a century later, from our very own family to yours, a legacy rooted in whiskey. Seagram's VO, growing deeper, reaching out, raising a glass to your legacy. Seagram's VO, make it your very own.
All right, boys. Big win last night. Didn't look very good to start this thing, as they were down 3-0, but leave it to the big guns, really. Stützle, Tkachuk, Giroux, Batherson, all goals. Yorkie, we'll start with you, being the former Nashville Predator. Did you expect this kind of turnaround?
I'll tell you what, the Sens showed a lot of cojones last night. Yeah, like some moxie. Like, you get down 3-0. Saros is a pretty good goaltender. I know he's having a tough go right now, but I actually like their start. They should have been leading in that game early. Tkachuk had a couple real nice chances. Saros made 2 real nice low pad saves on him, and then that bounce off the partition, and it goes right to the guy's stick. Like, that's just a horrible, unlucky bounce. The other 2 goals, you're down 3-0. So to come back in that game, it was good to see. That's a really good sign for a team that is trying to change their ways, to stick with it. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys watched the broadcast last night. Justin Williams talked about Claude Giroux. And it's amazing when you hear other people talk that don't really watch the Senators that much. And he talked a lot about what we talk about. He was talking about he didn't show Claude scoring. He showed Claude back checking. He showed Claude sticking with plays and being smart. And it was just, he's like, Ottawa needs more of this. And they do. But I thought Claude, we say this all the time, that Brady drags the team back into the battle. I thought Claude was that guy last night. And Brady had a great game too. Like Brady was really, really good. But I thought Claude was exceptional. And yeah, he got the overtime winner. But I thought the little parts of his game before that were so good. Like his extra effort and just such a smart player. So I thought Giroux was great. And I thought Jake Sanderson was really good last night. Like, really good. Like just his plays. They boxed out better last night. I thought the D were better at that. And it's a good sign. I know right now it's moral victories, but for me, when you that's a really good sign for a team like Ottawa to come back, and good on them. And we got to give Korpisalo some props too, guys, because
it's coming.
We pooped all over him the other day, but nice bounce back. So hopefully he can get on a roll too and start finding some consistency in his game. But that was a really good start for him. Yeah,
he was good before him. You kind of mentioned the guy that I was going to highlight, because Brady Tkachuk had his fingerprints all over the game as well. Good, with the assist. And, the assist is kind of a blind throw to the net, but it finds the right guy. And like Brady does that. That's right. That's because the worst case scenario is that goes through the slot and it goes right back to your own D. So, good on for Bath. Bath made a great composure move to finish that playoff, which not a lot of guys do. A lot of guys are taking that as a one-timer, but he had the composure to hold on. I actually thought Josh Norris was pretty good in some spurts. Timmy kind of did what Timmy does. I love the way he beat the guys up the ice on that overtime goal. You could see Yossi couldn't keep up. How mad are you, by the way? Did you see Andrew Burnett coming off so I had the Preds podcast, or excuse me.
You had their feed?
I had their broadcast because I'm down here. So I had theirs, and that they had a 2-on-0 that didn't generate a shot and turned into the game winner the other way, because I think it was Goryanov that just made a horrendous play. But the boys capitalized on it. So the big guys showed up. The role players kind of did what they needed to do. And Korpisalo came in. He had that great glove hand save with the guy coming down the pipe. And then I think it was Sissons in the slot on the power play that he denied on the pass from O'Reilly, which was a hell of a pass by O'Reilly, by the way, to find them all alone. I still hate that they find that guy all alone all the time against Ottawa's PK. That play happens way, way too often. Just stand a guy. Like if the PK's got nothing to lose, just stand one guy in the middle at this point and and do the rover thing up top. But yes, Korpisalo had a great game in relief, and I was getting ready to tweet it, Wally, and I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been hounded for it. I was getting ready.
How many times have we learned? I was going to do the same thing on one of the games. I'm like, son of a.
It's not happening to me. Not on my watch.
Bob, you mentioned Batherson. I'd like to see the stat for how many key goals he's scored or been a part of that have led to Senators' victories. I know he's got a couple in overtime where he's made the plays, some great passes for some goals. But that goal, you mentioned the patience to wait, and then put it in. That's just world-class skill. But he won the battle on the boards before that to shield the puck with his big body and start the whole playoff. But man, I think he's playing his best hockey under Jacques.
I do too. Yeah.
I just think he is starting to figure out how to be a better 200-foot player, and his offense is still it's actually better.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to really find himself as a player. I know people have thrown his name around. I would not trade this guy. I would not even consider it.
No.
He's big. He's got skill. He cares. He's got a great contract.
I was going to say the most important part in this world, the salary cap. He's great. He's got heart. He's cheap.
Like Bob, I know you've always maintained he's their second most skilled forward after Stutzla. I would agree with that. Like there's so many good things that he does, and he's starting to put it all together. Like just key moments of games when you need someone to step up, he has stepped up. And
Yeah.
I know the season hasn't been great, but just if you go back and retrace a lot of the key wins, he's got his fingerprints in a lot of those games.
Yeah, he certainly does. I will say the only, and this is not a detriment, this is a learning thing. We saw it last game. I think it was the second goal against New York. The second goal New York scored where they hit the guy in the middle, went off the backboards, and they banked it off Korpisalo. So kind of a fluky goal. I hate the way there's never sticks in the lanes. Other teams have such an easy time of passing through the box or through the zone, in the offensive zone. And that is as simple as give them the point. Guys have their sticks towards the point, to the least dangerous all the time. Start here, get there. Players have this, and most NHL players, especially the top 6 to 9 in the NHL, are going to be able to find that little honey hole. It's not that hard. And most teams attack through that honey hole in the slot, whether that's the shot or a one-timer or to kicking it out to the other end, kind of to relieve the pressure. Ottawa's got to they got to get better at protecting that. The Ryan Reeves play, I know they were shorthanded on that one, but that's another one. It's as simple as having a stick right there in that lane to defer that pass.
You're talking about the first goal of the behind the boards back thing that went in off Korpisalo 2 games. Do you know who that was in the slot?
Tarasenko was one of them. There were 4 of them. They were all pointed this way.
It's like you're not, you know what I call it? It's defensive awareness of knowing where guys are and knowing where to, like, he had his stick pointed towards the point and no one was there.
Yeah.
Like he basically took his stick out of the middle of the ice and said, here you go.
I wish we had that clip right now, because you can actually see 4 guys with the stick in the wrong direction. I'm like, you only need to be 25%, guys.
Wally, I had that.
4 of you. One guy has to have a stick in the lane.
I actually wanted to do that one yesterday when we were doing our video. That's funny you picked that up, but it's just, that's something they're really bad at.
Yeah, and it's simple, but it's got to be it's a simple, but it has to be ingrained, and that takes a minute.
And that's people talk about. People always, he's got a good plus minus. He's got this, he's got that. Well, there's other little parts that you don't really notice, and that's one of them.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
Well, I do have some positive news in our today's Wendy's Did You Know? So let's take care of that, as we need to get back to Brady. I also have a point on him too. But Wendy's and the Wendy's Daily Faceoff Survivor Pool proudly sponsor our coming in hot show. SOG, GAA, PPG. Can make or break your week, but don't overlook BPMM, Wendy's Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt. Sure, it may not help you win weekly prizes with Wendy's and the Daily Face-Off Fantasy Pool, but unlike your predictions, it never disappoints. So try your luck, but don't push it, because the Bacon Portobello Mushroom Melt only back for a limited time, and if you miss it, you won't get a second chance. Sign up for the Daily Face-Off Survivor Pool today. Sponsored by Wendy's and the Wendy's app. Go to dailyfaceoff.com. Up in the right-hand corner, just click on the icon. Wendy's, we keep it fresh. So, and I will say, Sportsnet did have part of this note in the show last night, is that Joonas Korpisalo, first goaltender in Sens, first Senators goaltender to replace the starter while trailing in the game and earn a victory over the last 49 opportunities it's happened. So Mike Condon was the last to do it. December 1st, 2017, Condon replaced Craig Anderson, with the Islanders leading 5-4. They won the game 6-5 in overtime. One Bobby Ryan scored his first goal of that season that night, also picked up an assist in that game.
I must have missed some time there. I'm like,
I think it was like your 12th game or something. Yeah. It's like, so
yeah.
December 1st is late for your first, but I was like, wow, he's first of the season. I'm going to assume you have no idea what that goal looks like, because it's just a goal.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah,
I figured just probably, would Guy have been our coach in 2017 there?
Yeah, because it would have been 2017-18.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay, so it was the year after we went through the playoff run, and then I got hurt early. Of course, probably a hand, probably a hand. But I don't remember that. But credit to him, because he came in and made 18 saves. But the boys rallied a little bit. It was great.
Dion Phaneuf assisted on your goal, by the way.
Well, he probably didn't pass it, so I must have tipped something home.
Oh, there you go. By the way, you assisted on Thomas Chabot's first of the season in that game, along with Mark Stone. Thomas Chabot, 27 years old today. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to Thomas Chabot.
Happy birthday.
That also means it's Colin White's birthday, because I could never forget the two of them born on the exact same day. That's what
Thanks.
I thought you guys were going to say.
Guys aren't big birthday things. We don't buy each other presents and stuff. It's just another day.
Just another day.
I always get guys. I want to get everybody a gift. It's their birthday.
Well, mine's in about a month and a half, so.
Nope. Doesn't mean you don't want a gift, apparently, so I'm not getting you one now.
Nope, fair enough. Yeah. I'll take a black cherry Boylan, please.
Oh, yes. You poo-pooed my gift idea, so now it's too bad. Here is today's hot performer, brought to you by DoorDash. Get everything you need, even at the last minute. Movie theater popcorn, if you will. Just open the DoorDash app and enjoy the perfect movie night on your couch, or watch the Alex Dagg documentary on Prime. It's fantastic. Choose what you want from where you want. With Double Dash on DoorDash, you can order from multiple restaurants or stores in the same delivery without additional delivery fees, so everyone can get what they want. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code NATION25. 25% off up to a $10 value and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code NATION25. Offer valid in Canada, subject to change. Terms apply. Brady Tkachuk, who, by the way, last night, thank you to John Perlberg from TSN Stats. Brady played his 200th game as a Ottawa Senator captain last night. He leads the team in multi-point games. He's assisted on the first goal, and he scored the second goal. I think he was huge in their comeback. And so I just wanted to give some props to Brady Tkachuk, who leads them in multi-point games.
Yeah, that was a great overpowering on that goal off the face-off when Norris is nice little bump. He's just so strong on his stick. He's really elevated. That little bit of a down stretch after the coaching change. Now he's getting back to the old Brady Tkachuk ways. So yeah, he was fantastic last night.
Yeah, he was. And he just seems to be a guy that, well, I mean, I've played with him, so I know the way he is in some areas. And he seems to be a guy that, to me, if he gets one early, he's a very confident player, right? And obviously the first one doesn't come till the second period, which can be in that style of game where you're mounting a comeback, that is still early. So when he gets feeling it, he's a dangerous player, and he just makes when he's feeling the confidence because of the way he has to play, right? He's not going to win you a ton of foot races. He's just a guy he gets there and he arrives with a big body and does things a little differently than a lot of players. But when he gets feeling it and he gets his hands in tight and gets moving with stuff like that, like I saw the other one that he took to the net on the power play, he just makes those plays much more aggressively when he gets one early. So no surprise that when he gets one, he usually ends up with 2 or 3.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to goaltending in a sec. But so Parker Kelly, apparently after the first period, he gave a speech in the locker room. I don't know if it was win one for the Gipper or whatever he said. I'm just curious, guys, since you weren't in the room, what speeches have you heard on a average game in the middle of January type that got you fired up, if you can remember anything, to take to the ice?
I can't remember a single one. Honestly,
honestly, between periods, I was a guy that I actually didn't like because you could tell. I'm not saying Parker Kelly is a phony guy, but I always hated guys that spoke when they knew the coach was coming in. Mm-hmm. Like they're just imposters. Like one of the best guys I played with, one of the best leaders I ever played with was Steve Yzerman. Got to play with him for just 20 games. He didn't say boo in the dressing room. He just went out and played hard.
Yeah.
And then after the game, he was the first one in the weight room. And then you're, oh shit, Yzerman in the weight room. I better get in the weight room. But I don't know. What can you really say, Bob? Like
nothing.
Let's go, boys. Like let's do it on the ice. It's what you do on the ice.
But okay, does it matter though that it's a typical fourth line guy who doesn't talk very much? Like most of those fourth liners, unless it's a joke like a Matthew Joseph type, and I'm not calling him a fourth liner, but those guys are in the room trying to be entertaining. If it's a quiet guy like an Eric Brandstrom, whatever, does it make a difference?
No,
because the one time a year they stand up, they're like, man, I'm pleading with you here let's turn this around.
Yeah, no, I would say it would be like if a Claude Giroux really loses his mind and goes nuts. Yeah, that's gonna get somebody's attention. But a guy, the guys you're describing, no, guys aren't gonna be mad or anything. but it basically, like, between periods, a lot of guys are doing different shit. Guys are taping sticks. Guys are in the trainer's room. Everyone has their routine between periods. Guys are catching their breath. Well, I just didn't like when guys would talk. Like, talk is cheap. It has no bearing on what goes on, at least in my opinion.
So
I agreed. I was the guy that left the room. I would just because I like to take I never left for long. I would always go tape my stick in another room just for 2 to 3 minutes of quiet. Because a lot of guys do different things. I would always have like this mental reset that I needed for 2 to 3 minutes of quiet to go over what I thought was happening with my game, right? Everybody has a pulse for the game and where they think the team's at, but you want to say, where were you at? So I would tape my stick in quiet and then go back to the room after that before the coaches came in. Usually 4 or 5 minutes before the coaches came in, kind of thing. But you're right. I mean, Yorkie, guys are in and out. Guys are going to get retaped with the retaped their stick. Guys are going to re-see the trainer for something. It's kind of a mess. Like, there's not very often when guys are just sitting in the room. At any given time, you could have anywhere between 5 to 10 in there. But guys are just doing their thing.
Do you want to know what might grab somebody's attention? Maybe if Zub just got up and snapped, and all of a sudden in broken English just started giving it to somebody.
A bunch of F-bombs.
Yeah. Just laid into somebody.
Yeah. I know his English isn't great, but I know he could probably drop the F-bomb. It's probably the first word he learned in the room.
Just get up. I would say like maybe that, or someone's if one of your players is cheating the game and he's burying guys on a line change or something, and somebody just gets up and just gives it to him in the room. That's a little different. But the old "let's go, boys, let's do it for the Gipper" speeches, those don't do anything.
No. So has there never been a speech in a room?
I can't tell you
playoff anything. I'm okay. Like, it's okay to say no. I've heard enough players. Here's all I'm saying. I've heard enough players use that line as a media crutch sometimes. Like, oh, if it wasn't for this speech, we wouldn't have won. I only know of one time, and that's the Roger Nielsen night where he spoke in the room for the playoffs and said, very emotional. Outside of that, I don't know of any speech that's really gotten guys fired up.
No. Yeah, I heard that was very, very inspirational. I once got kicked by Jacques between periods. Jacques came in and just booted me in the shin pads because I think I told this before. Jagger just undressed me and he came in. He goes, "Are you gonna fucking hit somebody out there?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, wakey."
Yeah, but I've certainly been called out by the coach, but not like coach.
Yeah,
certain coaches.
Randy.
Oh yeah. I was Randy's boy. It didn't matter what I was doing. I was Randy's boy. But he had a method to his madness, and it took me a minute to understand that. But once I did, I was way better. But every coach has called me out in some fashion, like every player. And then certainly as I got older, when the Sens were young, I won't say which coach, but a coach had said to me, "I'm going to use you as an example. There will be nights when you're playing well where I call you out. And I just want you to know that I'm doing that," because I had thick enough skin to say it's not going to bother me. I had been through enough, right? Yeah. He would use me, and then like the same coach would wink at me on the way out, just so I knew. I was like, wait, where do I stand?
Wow.
Yeah. It was just to send the message that, hey, I don't care if you're a veteran, because we had such a young team. Yeah. I'm going to yell at the 12 to 15 year guys too, whatever it might be. Yeah. And I had no problem with that. Zero issue with that.
The good coaches aren't afraid to do that because it's so easy to give it to a fourth liner or to a guy that knows that he can't say anything back to you. Because when you say something to an older guy or somebody that's on a long contract, you risk maybe an altercation happen in the dressing room where this guy might say something back to you, and then it's going to get heated. So I always, if you're like, when I was coaching junior, there's no point giving it to a guy that's not one of your better players. You got to give it to because that's what works, at least in my opinion. But I back to the point about the raw guys. There's Bob, there's always one or two guys on every team that are just so phony, and you know it. and they do it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They have it timed perfectly, and they know exactly when the coach is going to come in for his pregame speech.
Yeah.
And the guys are just shaking like this guy. And those guys usually become those. But the funny thing is, those guys usually become coaches.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah,
I would love to know the statistical breakdown of that.
Yeah, the best guy in Anaheim that doing that, like he had it timed to the second, was Dan Bylsma. Dan Bylsma would get up and we'd go, here he goes. He's going to get up again, do his fucking routine. And there he goes. Then he goes on the coach.
That's so good.
Won a Stanley Cup.
It doesn't surprise me. I loved playing for him. I thought he was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he's so funny. And listen, I don't blame him. I don't blame him because he was a player like a Rourke Chartier. He wasn't talented, so he had to find a way to survive in the league. What better way to like brown nose up to the coach?
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's a great way to survive.
It is. I'll only, you know what, Yorkie, excuse me, Wally, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Thinking back on speeches, I remember more the closed door meetings after games or coaches coming in and just barreling into you after games. And we had one, and Scott Niedermayer was our captain. Guy never said a word. Just he was one of those guys that I'll never forget this. Our trainer told me this one time. He was -4 one night. Came in, and you know how they give you the stat breakdown, goals, assists, plus minus, whatever. He was a -4 one night. He came in, somebody handed him the sheet, and he goes, 17,000 people in the building tonight. He never looked, didn't care. He was one of those guys. But we were in Minnesota. We were up late. George Paris took a fight he shouldn't have taken. And it tilted the ice. And they came back and won. And I think they scored 3 really late. I can't remember the exact timing of it. But we pissed away a lead and lost the game. And Randy came in pissed off, obviously, as we all were. And didn't give it to George, but gave it to all of us and just said, why in the world we're up 3-1 and our fourth line fighter is taking a fight to lose and give the crowd something to benefit from, give them to something to benefit from. And you could hear a pin drop because Randy commanded a lot when he walked in the room. And it's quiet. And as soon as he finished a sentence, you just hear Scott Niedermayer say, I disagree. And I remember every player in the room went, trying to get smaller. And I'm pretty sure
this
Randy
isn't going to go well.
Yeah, because Scott Niedermayer never says a word, right? He just said, I disagree. The fight had nothing to do, blah, blah, blah. Like made his, and Randy did a lot of backpedaling there too, because Scott, again, isn't a guy that says anything. And he said, I have respect for the position. I understand what that job is and what it entails. But I'm just saying at this point in the game, and it didn't go on for long because Scott was done with it. He just said, I disagree, made his statement. That was the end of it. But I remember going, oh, buddy, he pushed the button. Randy pushed the button.
So
I love it.
When Randy left, was it just dead silence?
No, it wasn't dead silence. Randy had made his point, and a lot of times after stuff like that happens, the players don't say anything. There's that awkward moment of silence where all of a sudden you hear that first clear tape come off a sock. Yeah. You're like, who's going to do that first? But I think we were, and it didn't last long, but I think that we were all fed up with being in the building that night. So guys got right to getting out of there because we were on the road when it happened as well. And we did have a flight to catch, but yeah, I remember, I'll never forget that because I went, oh shit, he's got Scott Niedermayer talking.
That's good.
It was good.
I want to move on just quickly, touch on Matt Sogard. A little concerned. He got pulled, 3 goals, 11 shots. I think it was, 8 saves. 727 save percentage. His 4 appearances this year, not once have they been over 900. Do we have
you touch on it first?
And he was doing great in the minors. Like he was having an outstanding season, and like just goes to show you a little bit of different shooters in the NHL than the minors. I don't know. That was a great shot. So the one off the boards, not much of an opportunity on that one. Bounces right to the guy in the slot. The one when the guy goes wide on Chabot, great shot, but he's so deep in his net, and he's a big guy. The fact that he didn't come out and challenge on that one seemed a little bit tentative. I don't know. Again, like it's too early with a guy like that. Like it's such a small sample size. I'd like to see more. But it's pretty evident that he needs a little more time in the minors based on what I've seen so far. 2 games in a row where he really hasn't been great. So yeah, like I said, goalies are so tough. Sample size is small. He's a big guy. He's got lots of tools. Let's see. For me, it's too early to kind of cast a judgment on where he is. Just he's being consistent. But the good thing is he played well in the minors, so nice to get him back. It'd be nice to get him back there, get that confidence going again, and keep getting him to grow his game. And the Sens have recently made the big goalie change. The good thing is the goalie that's been working with him is now here in Ottawa. He got promoted,
Justin Peters,
which that should help a guy like Søgaard because obviously he felt comfortable with him. And same with Korpisalo. Korpisalo is now going to have to get used to a new goalie coach as well. So. Yeah, let's see where it goes with Korpisalo and with Søgaard. But good thing is Korpisalo came in and showed that he could bounce back after having a terrible game. So hopefully they get some consistency in the position moving forward.
I agree. To your point on the goal that I was going to reference was the goal. Chabot got beat wide. Yeah, actually, I don't like to say that. Chabot didn't get beat wide. He held the lane.
It looks like it.
It looks like it. It looks like it. But it's a weird one there for me because the puck goes up in the air and the guy just happens to catch. Like it goes by Chabot like this, and if that guy makes a lateral pass there, Yorkie, Chabot just turns and closes. And I think he just had a hesitation because the puck went straight past his kind of like he's like, am I catching it? Am I that? And in the NHL, if a guy gets a step on you, unless it's me, you're not catching him.
The other thing too, Bob, too, I didn't like because if you watch that video, there's 4 Senators back.
Yep.
There's 4 of them. Like I always, if I'm Chabot's partner there, I'm watching that sequence and I'm probably going to come back and lead with my stick if I'm Jacob Chychrun to make sure. Because sometimes defensemen are always taught to play I call it a teeter-totter. One's up, one's back, one's up, one's back. And he didn't need to be up because the forward already had the guy driving the lane. So, yeah. And you watch Chabot too. He turns the wrong way too. Like he turns to the middle. It's weird.
Yeah. I agree. But just weighing in on the goal part of it. Obviously Søgaard was on a heater in the minors before he came up, right? He's been good. To me, it just looks like a goalie that's not confident in the NHL yet. Because there's no reason a goalie that size should get beat short side on a play where the essential, like you're not going to get beat to the far side of the net there with your size. He was deep, right? And that's the sign of a goalie that doesn't understand or doesn't have confidence. Excuse me. If he's got confidence, he's out and he's challenging that shooter to make a play. And if you get beat to the back post because a player beat you there, so be it. But you don't get beat on the short side. He's got to hold that lane a lot more aggressively because great shot, absolutely perfect shot, but you can't give that up.
What's Søgaard's? What is he? How tall is he?
6'7".
Yeah,
is he that big?
He's a unit, dude.
Yeah, second tallest in the NHL. Like, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the tallest. Yeah. I think maybe second tallest to ever play. I think there was another 6'7" goalie off the top of my head. We had it in the show a year ago, I think. Anyway,
it just makes himself look small on that goal. Because that he was really in tight. It was Tomasino, I believe, that scored that goal. Like he's so deep in his net. And I agree with Bob. Just push out. You're gonna make that save, and everything's gonna be good.
Yeah, I agree. Just hold the angle. Hold the angle and don't get beat and trust your D or they're going to keep them from getting to the back post. How about that? I wanted to talk about, how about UC Saros getting a tripping penalty on Stützle there? How bad was that? I wanted to tweet that, but I didn't want it to be like Bobby's coming across as rooting for the Preds because he bet on them in the lock of the day or whatever. So I didn't, but he got all puck. He got puck first. I hate those calls. I've been a forward in that position, and I still, when goalies used to get them on me, if the goalie hit the puck first, I'm like, I'm sorry, that's a terrible call. I used to hate that for guys.
Yeah, it is.
So Did the Ridley Greig call it the embellishment, the dive? What did you two think?
I think they nailed the call. I think he did embellish it. And the guy did have a stick there. I love both calls. It was funny listening to the broadcast of the Preds versus what I was seeing on Twitter is so different, right?
Yes.
Twitter, and now I'm watching the Preds broadcast, and they're just lighting Ridley up. They're like, "Look at this guy! Look at him diving!" And then and then Ridley had a smile on his face, kind of going to the bench. And they're like, he tried to sell a call. He's going to sit for 2. So I had bet the both worlds go in there, and I think they got the call right. It was a clear cut violation, but it was a clear cut dive.
If you're a rookie in the NHL, you're not gonna. The ref's gonna tee you up on a like an older guy maybe tries that's got a little bit more time in the league. He might get away with it, but that's tough. Young guys don't get away with stuff like that.
No. You have zero chance.
You got none, absolutely none.
Okay, there's been some trade rumors. I want to get to that, but first we want to welcome in Douglas Mattress to the coming in hot family of partnerships. Yes, listen, there's all kinds of mattresses on the market of online ordering. This one named Best Mattress, Canada's best mattress on Canadian living. So it is super comfortable, unrivaled comfort and feel, motion isolation, sleep cool. Relieves pressure points, great value, eco-friendly materials, loved by more than 200,000 Canadians already. Easy online ordering. Get Douglas delivered in a simple box to your doorstep with free shipping coast to coast, usually 1 to 4 business days. Experience their industry-free, risk-free trial, 365 nights. You don't like it? Just get a full refund. Also, if you order a mattress, you get 2 memory foam pillows with pillow protectors, 1 luxurious cotton sheet set, and 1 mattress protector. $650 value when you order your Douglas mattress now. Douglas mattresses are handcrafted in Canada, ensuring the highest quality materials and fastest delivery to you. Order at douglas.ca. Okay.
Hold on. So that's 2 days in a row you've got me. Welcome to I keep thinking a guy named Douglas Mattress is coming on the show.
I swore I just thought I said nobody told me we had a guest today.
Who is this Douglas Mattress you speak of?
That's how much I paid attention yesterday too, because I've never even heard that ad before.
Is he like an insider, Douglas Mattress?
The most comfortable guest we've ever had.
The quick hesitation. I'm like, Douglas Mattress. Who is this?
Welcome to the show, Yorkie and Bobby.
Someone just said NHL insider, Douglas Mattress.
He's a new insider, Douglas Mattress.
Yeah. Okay. He lays it all on the line. Can we move on? There's a report today. No, it came out a couple of days ago. I think first started, if I'm not mistaken, by Nick Kyprios, but don't get on me if someone else had brought it up. Right. Arthur Kaliyev from the Los Angeles Kings. Pending restricted free agent, just 22 years old. He's got good size. He plays right and left. And there's talk that they're looking to move. Like, they have a lot of decisions to make. They've got a lot of RFAs coming up. They're in a complete free-for-all at the moment. Is this somebody? And by the way, he played for Steve Stamkos in Hamilton. Yeah. I know that doesn't always mean anything, and it shouldn't, but they do know the player. So is this somebody you'd entertain? And if it is it something you would give up for it?
I'm very familiar with Arthur Kaliyev. I watched him play junior a ton because he's a 2001. My older son Jack is 2000. Watched him, and when he played junior, he's a very highly skilled goal scoring shooter. He's got a great shot. He's a guy that on your power play can score. The only thing about his game, and maybe he's gotten better because I haven't watched him a lot lately, he doesn't have great speed. He could have gotten quicker because you do get quicker when you get to the pro level, but his boots were a little slow when I watched him before, but great release, great shot. It appears in Los Angeles he's not getting top 6 opportunities because that's the type of skill he has. He's not going to be a guy that plays on your 4th line. He's not going to be a details type guy that probably blocks shots and works that way. More of a highly skilled guy that can score. So is he a fit with Ottawa? Well, it depends what happens with Tarasenko, right? Let's say you trade Tarasenko. maybe he's a guy you get in return and you give him an opportunity to play in an offensive role. So there is something there. And that's the thing. Like, I think the Senators need to be out looking for players like this that haven't popped yet. And by popped, I mean haven't hit their NHL stride of where they could project to be. So he could be a guy, fellas, that turns into a pretty good goal scorer. I'm just not sure about his boots, because Senators are already a pretty slow team. Yeah. I'd have to watch video on and see where his skating's at, because I don't know, Bob. Can you afford to bring another guy in that doesn't play with a lot of pace?
Well, here's my question, Bob, before you answer that, is where does he play? Yeah, if he's not a top 6 guy, and he hasn't scored in 18 games. He's his last 3 games, 721, 854, 837. Yeah. Where does he play in the lineup? It reminds me of Dominik Kubalik.
He's a slower, poorer version of Josh Norris. From the skill standpoint, like he is, like Josh Norris can shoot the puck. I remember Kaliyev from World Juniors. Is that how you say it? Kaliyev, sorry. Kaliyev, sorry. He could remember, like he can shoot the puck. There's no doubt about that. I do agree with you, Yorkie. They do need to find guys in that specific category, maybe that can provide you with something that haven't popped. But where do you put him? He's not doing anything in this lineup that anybody else can't really do. If you give him top 6 minutes, does he become that? I don't know. But do you want to take the risk of bringing him in for that? Because he's nobody knows what kind of player he is yet, because he hasn't been given consistent top 6 minutes. So there could be that fit and that eye test that you want him to pass, but I just don't see it. They have top 6 forwards here, right? They have a top 6. And then to move somebody out of that top 6 to bring in somebody that's not quite proven, I don't see the reason to, unless you're getting rid of a bunch of cap while doing it, but that's not going to be the case when you're bringing in a guy like that. So,
yeah. If Tarasenko's traded for assets, they're going to get rid of Kubalik. 2 spots there, possibly on your third line. But I don't know. Have you watched him lately, Bob? I haven't seen him. To be honest, I don't watch the Kings a lot, but you were seeing the same thing I saw with the boots, like not great boots.
Yeah, and this. Granted, I watch a little bit of the Western Coast games because I'll check in on Anaheim from time to time. So I've seen a few Kings games this year too. And if truth be told, I don't remember watching them. And take that with a grain of salt. I've probably watched the Kings 10 times for a total of 25 and a half periods. So he seems like a guy that's buried in the middle of their lineup right now. And they have a lot of questions to answer out there. And I don't know if you move a guy that's 22 out when you have some guys that they really need to move on from.
Yeah.
I just don't know where he fits if he were to come to, like, does he take Matthew Joseph's spot? Is that what they're, and anyway, but
Joseph, I would not get rid of Joseph.
No, but just that spot in the lineup, like that top 6, is he enough to push Matthew Joseph out? Also, if, like we're talking, they said at the press conference, 200-foot players, nothing screams 200-foot player based on what you guys have said.
No. It's another power play guy, and you have your power play.
You got a couple.
Yeah, he's a good power play guy. And if we're looking at who can eventually be the top 6 guys here, like depending on where Greig is going to fit in this lineup, he's going to be elevated at some point, at least to a top 9 role. Pinto is just kind of getting his feet under him again. Like there are some options. It's just that's the trick. Can you go out if you're going to do something at the deadline or at the draft? They got to find a young player that's going to fit into that top 9. That's the trick.
Yeah. Yep.
The other guy's Chris Tanev. I just want to quickly, I know we've talked about him before. Elliot Friedman, by the way, is now saying that maybe not this year, as he's hoping for a playoff spot. Maybe he is a potential off-season free agent signing, if you will, or whatever they can do with him. I'm just curious if is Chris Tanev somebody that A, makes your roster better, B, someone you want on the roster, and then people are talking about his age. I'm not sure his age is that big of a factor. It is if you give him a 9-year deal. I'll say,
yeah. So Let me weigh in on this because I played against Chris for a long time.
Yeah.
He's a very, very underrated defenseman.
Yeah.
He does a lot of good things. And York, you can touch on some of the small plays he makes and the way he settles things down a little differently than I can. But I will just say there were guys that you hated to play against because they were going to run you and they were going to hit you. I'm talking just the Shea Weber types, right? And I know he's a cut above everybody, but that's the mold I'm talking about. Chris Tanev could do a little bit of that. He's physical, but he was so smart and shut down angles so well. And then just moved the puck up the ice, just kind of went about his business and did his thing. He was always very frustrating for me to play against. So when people talk about the age possibility, I don't have a problem with it if he's a 2-year guy, because he's got 2 good years in him for sure. I watched him.
Would you give him 4? Because he's going to want more than 2.
Yeah, but nobody's giving him more than 2 at 34. I'd be surprised anyway. But he does play a very smart game. He doesn't have a lot of injury risk, I guess, the way he plays. I would love the move on a 2-year deal to help stabilize and give you a second right-hand shot to help with the Sanderson, Chabot, Chychrun thing, right? I think it's a great idea. But you don't give a 34-year-old 4 years, I mean, right?
I know, but when you're a free agent, highly sought after, you get to go, well, 2 is okay, but I want this is my last contract.
Yeah.
He plays really hard. He plays really hard. My own, and I did a lot of Calgary games when I was working for Sportsnet. I'd go out there and I watched him a ton. Bob, I'm with you. He does so many little subtle things so well. His passing, he blocks shots, he boxes out, he moves the puck. My only concern is when you play that way, he's got a lot of hard miles on him. He's got like that odometer, and if you look at his history, he's got a hard time staying healthy for a full season. Last year, just 65 games, 82 the year before, then 56, 69. That's my only concern with him is the mileage on the odometer. But I love the player. I love him.
But the last 3 years, he hasn't missed a lot of time.
I was going to say, and that if you're playing 70 out of the 82 games at that age,
it's pretty good.
That's why I mentioned the fact that his injury risk is relatively, and he plays in the West too. I know what happens. I know what happens to your body as a defenseman when you get around that age. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
you're really sore.
Act like an expert.
Like, just to get ready for games, there is a whole friggin' process the body has to go through. And the next day you wake up and you feel like, and I kept myself in shape, and I wasn't one of those guys that was a bag of milk. But for me, it'd have to be a 2-year deal. Yeah. But I would love if they could figure out a way to get a guy like a Rasmus Anderson or a Uyghur. Like, they're younger.
They're not coming.
How do you know?
Because Uyghur's got an 8-year deal. He didn't sign an 8-year deal so he could be traded in the first year of it.
Well,
doesn't matter. He's from Ottawa.
I don't care about that. But there's got it, like a guy like Rasmus. Calgary's going to make some moves. If they miss the playoffs this year, they got to do something. They got to do something. They're going to have to.
Uyghur's got a full nose move.
Take Uyghur out of the mix. Rasmus Anderson is a younger guy. He's on a good contract. I'm just. Like I said, I like Tanev. I would just be concerned about the body starting to break down. That's the only thing.
Couple of things before we get to lock of the day. Quickly, Gavin Fandemonium, if you will. We have February 6th coming up, 3 p.m. I want you guys to be part of the show, or we want you to be part of the show, I should say. We're going to do a show with you guys on camera asking us questions, if you will. So I need you to send us a DM on X or Twitter, if you will, or send us an email at cominginhotsends@gmail.com and let us know that you're interested. We'll get back to you. It may not be right away, but I will get in contact and we will get you on the show. Okay. So you'll need a camera and some headphones and preferably a mic, but we would love to hear from you. So that's February 6th. Also tonight, before we go, Yorkie and I, and one Ian Mendez. Right. Yuck Yucks. Ian's going to do a full set. He said like 12 minutes of jokes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. They better not be dad. They better not be dad jokes.
No, he's pretty good. He's very quick-witted. I'll give him that. So
he is.
It's going to start at 7:30. We're, I think, on around 8 And then Yorkie and I are coming up after Mendez has got them all in stitches to tell some stories. So apparently, apparently there's less than 10 tickets left. It only seats 11, but apparently there's 10 tickets left.
It's down to 4. I was at the Cheshire Cat last night with a large group of people, and my buddies snapped up 6. So I think there's 4 left now.
Oh, okay.
We have a heckling zone now on the back of Yuck Yucks.
Oh, so good.
My fear is my wife is going, and I'm concerned that you or Mendez are going to ask her questions, and I've told her she's not allowed to bury me.
Oh God!
So, all right, moving on to lock of the day. And Yorkie, the last thing I want to tell you about the game last night.
Yes.
You talked a lot about block shots.
Yep.
The Ottawa Senators had a 25, which is the second most they've had all season.
Mm-hmm.
And when they have 22 or more, they are 5-0. Josh Norris led the team in block shots last night.
There you go.
He gets in the way. He finds a
whether
way.
he wants to or not.
Yeah.
He led all forwards. Chabot, Norris, and Chychrun all had 4 shots.
He could be Norris could be such a force, man. Hey, Bob, he's
let him develop. Why are we all over him?
Not all over him.
No,
no.
The fan
I'm not
base
either
right now.
I love the player. I want to see him do well.
So do I.
I love the
35 goal scorer.
He's been on the show. I just want him to do well. Like, I just see what's there in his tool set. Like, he's got great skill. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He can shoot it. But you tend to forget that he's missed a lot of time, right? Like, he's missed a lot of time. So I hope he puts it all together. Because I don't know him, Bob, but I heard he's a great kid.
Awesome
Fantastic.
kid. And you know what? We don't know the day in and day out of what's. I'm guaranteeing you that's still bothering him day in and day out.
Yeah,
that doesn't go away quick. That takes time too. So you just give him time. He'll be there.
I agree. Okay. Finally, lock of the day as they play the Detroit Red Wings, the final time before they head to the All-Star break, and then they have a bye week. So they don't play. I think it's 12 days they don't play. And since we're not on tomorrow, I need to know you guys and what you're picking as they head into Detroit, where the Wings are 9-2-1 in their last 12 games, by the way, overall. Dylan Larkin.
I'm going last today.
Dylan Larkin's on an 11-game point streak.
He's on a heater right now. Yeah, I'm going last today.
Yeah. Wally, who do you got? Your first.
And by the way, Claude Giroux, since he's joined the Ottawa Senators, he's played 7 games. He's got 12 points. He's got points in every game but 1 against the Detroit Red Wings. So in the last 7 at Detroit, they're 5-1-1. Book it. Taking the Sens.
The Sens are 5-1-1. They're last in Detroit. Is that what you
last 7 in Detroit.
You really, I really like Detroit's coach. I think he's a really smart guy. He does a nice job of getting his forward staying on top of the play. I got a tough one with this because I like how Ottawa's starting to play right now. I'm still concerned with the goaltending.
But you got no choice.
You got
Joonas Korpisalo is rolling now. He is on fire.
He's back, baby.
There was never any doubt.
You got to earn the trust with me. I've been burned too many times. In lock of the day by thinking, all right, I think they're going to play well. I'm not there yet, fellas. I can't. I'm like a woman
just
or a
get
man.
On with it.
I'm like a woman or a man that's been cheated on too many times. And I don't have any trust. I can't trust the goalies. I'm going with Detroit.
I already know Bob's taking Detroit. I just feel it.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you why. Last 12 games on a heater going into the break. It does have the recipe to be a trap game for them. But I'm going to take Detroit. You don't go against a team that's 9-2-1 in the last 12.
Well, they got to lose at some point. They're Detroit. It's not like they're a juggernaut.
They're going to finish off, and then they're all going to go to Turks and Caicos, have a little too much fun in the sun, get sunburnt, have a bunch of rum and cokes. Don't forget, I know half that team. Those boys, that's a good group of guys right there. So they're gonna close it out and then come back, and then they'll come back down.
That's exactly. There's a speech that gets you going before a game. Guys, we have 1 game left. We got to win this because we're all going away to rum and coke.
Hey, no soccer warm up today, boys. Push up pyramids.
Listen, I'd like to point out that where is it? Chris Petrick said Korpisalo is rolling. LMAO.
I just said that. Yeah, I'm with him.
Yeah.
He's rolling.
He's for good for 40, and then we'll see what the score is.
I can't trust him. I'm not there yet.
Did somebody just put that up on our board, or did I just get my first ever chat?
No, this is we can do this in the show.
Oh,
so I don't know. Gavin's got some voodoo stuff. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, he can throw up. That's from the chat, so he can take stuff from the chat and throw it up.
I love it.
I forget. I had lost my train of thought, but someone said the game is tomorrow and not tonight. I don't think we said it was tonight. So I just wanted to point that out. Maybe someone that's in there twice. Maybe someone said it tonight. Anyway, okay, boys, get your rest because we got big shows coming Thursday. Oh, this is a tweet from Rick. This is for Yorkie. Hearing Shark J's on waivers, and it's just a gif of a baby crying.
Oh, that's so good. I better go get some sleep now because I sure shit ain't gonna sleep in the middle seat. So, hey, two people are gonna be really pissed off when they find out I ride a Harley when I sit down.
Oh, just the
if
wide
you're in the
legs,
middle,
eh?
you gotta own both wings.
You're gonna mansplain. Is that what you're
That's
doing?
exactly what I'm doing.
So this ought to make for some good TV or chat on Thursday when we all get together for the very first time. We will all be in the same room doing a show. So this I don't know what to say. I'm pretty pumped.
We're gonna have some fun.
Sleep.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have some fun.
3 p.m. Thursday, 10 a.m. Friday, live shows from Toronto. We'll see you then. Everybody, travel safe. You too. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.